had seen that how to differentiate one grammar from other, that is type 3, type 2, type 1 and type 0, just by looking at the production rules. Okay. So today basically I'm going to start with finite automata, specifically deterministic finite automata. Okay. So I'll just share my screen. So is my screen visible and am I properly audible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So as we have seen the different classifications of machine, we did see that regular language is accepted by the machine known as finite automata. Okay. So finite automata is a machine which is supposed to accept all regular languages. Now what we are going to see in this class is how do we get a particular finite automata given a language, right? In our previous classes we had seen that how to generate a grammar for a given language. Similarly, in this class we will see how to construct the finite automata given a language. Now why this is important, students? At the very starting of this subject I told you that the subject is actually lying on the three main pillars. One is language, other is grammar, and third one is the automata itself or the machine itself. Okay. So previously we have seen that how grammars and languages are interconnected. In this class or in today's class we will start off with how this finite automata is related to regular language, or how can we construct a finite automata for a given regular language. Okay. So before going into the formal definition of deterministic finite automata, which is a classification of finite automata, we will see what is a finite automata or what are the different types of finite automata. Okay. So finite automata is basically a machine, as the name suggests. It can accept languages which are finite in nature. It will always accept a language which is finite in nature. And the different classifications of finite automata can be a finite automata with output, a finite automata without output. Now in with output we have a Mealy machine and a Moore machine that we will discuss in later classes. And with finite automata without output we have DFA, that is deterministic finite automata, NFA, that is non-deterministic finite automata, and we have epsilon NFA, that is epsilon non-deterministic finite automata. So we are going to cover all these classifications. We are going to see how do they work, what are the functionalities, what are the characteristics of these automatas. But for today we will concentrate mainly on deterministic finite automata, and we will start off with the formal definition of deterministic finite automata. Okay. So the formal definition of DFA is something like this. It is a 5-tuple. We have seen while defining grammar, we had defined grammar as a 4-tuple, if you remember, right? So for a finite deterministic finite automata, it is a 5-tuple. Now let us see what are the components of this 5-tuple. Capital Q is a finite set of states. Now students, automata is something which represents a system with the help of states. So obviously state is a very important part of a deterministic finite automata. We will see with an example what do we mean by a state, but yeah, capital Q stands for finite set of states. That is all the states for a particular finite automata, deterministic finite automata. Okay. This sigma is a finite set of symbols. Now you are very familiar with sigma. In grammar also you had seen sigma was representing the alphabet set. Here also sigma is the finite set of symbols called the alphabet that we are going to use in our deterministic finite automata. What is a transition function? Sigma is a transition function. Now how is a transition function defined? If you look at this relation, it's Q cross sigma goes to Q, which means that we are in a state, we get a particular input, we go to some other state, right? This relationship, I repeat, means that we are in a present state, we get some input, we go to the next state. This is known as the transition function. Okay. Next is Q0. Q0 is a starting state of the automata, that is a DFA that we are going to design. Every DFA has got the initial state, because obviously whenever we are designing a deterministic finite automata, we should know the starting point, where to start off with, right? So Q0 represents the initial state where any input is processed for the given DFA. And finally, capital F is the set of the final states. Please note the line final states. We can have more than one final state in a DFA. Therefore, it's a set of final states. F is a subset of Q. Q is the set of all the states. Obviously, therefore, F is a subset of Q. Okay. So, final state is something where we should reach once our string is accepted. I'll elaborate on this later on. Okay. But a finite automata DFA has always got some final state. Okay, it has to have a final state, one or more than one. Okay. Now, as the name suggests, deterministic finite automata. Okay. So why deterministic? We have to move to a particular. There's a mistake. I'll correct it later on. We have to move to a particular next state for a particular input. Okay. So why deterministic? Because we always move to a single next state for a particular input given we are in a particular state. That is, suppose I am at state Q0, I get an input A, I move to Q1. It can never happen that once I am in Q0 and I get input A, I can move to Q1 also, I can move to Q2 also. Such confusions are not there in DFA. We always move to a single next state on getting a particular input in a present state. Okay, that's why it's called deterministic finite automata. The deterministic part comes from this logic. Why finite? The number of states in a DFA are finite. Okay, so the number of states that we are going to see when we construct a DFA, it is always finite. Okay. So, here comes the logic of deterministic and finite. Next, representation. Now, once we are learning about a new automata, we should always know that how do we represent the machine or how do we represent the automata. There are two popular methods of representing an automata. One is a transition diagram and one is a transition table. Okay. So, let's start with the transition diagram. I hope this is visible to you. As we have seen the components of a DFA, I'll explain the components with the help of the example. You had a starting state. Always the starting state is marked with a arrow, this arrow. So here Q0 is the starting state. Okay. Next, we had final state. So this double circled state is the final state. Always whenever we are going to construct a transition diagram, we mark the starting state with the arrow, initial arrow, incoming arrow rather, and the final state is marked with a double circle. Okay. So final state done, initial state done. Next we had set of states. So here we can see we have three set of states, Q0, Q2 and Q1. Fine. What are the set of alphabets? Sigma, A, B. Only A and B, nothing else. Okay. Next was transition function. Now what is transition function? Transition function over here for this automata, it can be written as I am in Q0, I get A, I go to Q1. So it will be written as Q0 cross A goes to Q1. This is one transition function. Another transition function can be Q0 cross B goes to Q2. So these are the different transition functions of this automata. Now next you should ask me that why, from where is this automata coming? What is the purpose of this automata? What is the
This automata, if I am not wrong, basically represents a set of all strings which start with A.
Exactly, very good. So yeah, as you can see, this is the automata, this is the initial state Q0 you are getting A, you go to final state. So our aim will be going to final state, and we will see that what is the string we generate while going to the final state. So if you see over here, when I go to Q0 to Q1, I have a A. After that I can have anything. This, this loop, self loop, this self arc, A comma B means I can have any and every combination of A comma B. But the initial thing is that I'll always have a A. What about B? For B, this is a dead state or trap state, because this is not leading to the final state. Okay. Now, one more thing, students, is this DFA or transition diagram complete? Is it complete?
No, ma'am, it
It
is
is
not
not
complete
complete.
No, ma'am.
because
No,
we
ma'am.
don't know
Because we
if we apply an input to Q2, what will that input lead
Exactly,
to?
exactly. Very good.
and
So this is incomplete, and your DFA should contain all the transitions from each state on getting each input. Okay. So what is missing over here? Q2's transition is missing over here, right? So we have to add
maybe.
Q2's transition. So we can simply say that whatever we get at Q2, A or B, I'll remain in the same state, because it is exactly irrelevant, because we are already in a trap state or dead state. This is not my like matter of concern that where I go after Q2. So I can just put a self loop with A comma B to signify that we remain in the same dead state upon getting A comma B also in Q2. My main concern was Q0 to Q1, and for that all the transitions are present. So I would request you to check state wise. For Q0 I have both the transitions. For B, A, fine, it's good to go. For Q1 I have both the transitions. For A comma B, it's good to go. For Q2 also I have both the transition. For A comma B, it's good to go. So you should always ensure that for each state you have all the transitions for the present alphabets. Okay. This is a transition diagram. From the transition diagram, if you want to construct a transition table, it is very, very easy. We have the present state, that will carry all the states of your automata, DFA. Your next state will be divided into two parts, because you have two input symbols. If you had more input symbols, it would have been divided into more columns. Over here only A and B is there. So next state when input is equal to A, next state when input is equal to B. So if you watch the transition diagram, I am at state Q0, I get A, I go to Q1. That is written over here. I am at Q0, I get B, I go to Q2. Fine. Next, come to Q1. Q1 কি আছে? Q1 I get A or B, I remain at Q1. Okay. And Q2 te I get A or B, I remain at Q2. Okay. I have just marked the final state with this blue color. Q1 is the final state, and Q2 is the dead state, so I have marked it with a red color. Okay, just for your understanding, that's it. Fine. So this is a simple representation of your DFA. I hope the transition diagram and transition table, these two are the only possibilities for representing your deterministic finite automata. Okay.
Ma'am, suppose this was an example for a set of strings which start with A. So let's say I am asked to construct DFA which represent the set of strings starting with AB. So in the transition diagram, can I write Q0 to AB? I mean, in
No,
this
no,
diagram we
no,
have written
not A,
Q0.
no,
Can I?
not no, Q0 to AB you cannot write together. Q0 to A will be one transition
Okay.
function, then again Q1 to next state will be another transition function. I have many examples
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
I'll actually explain you.
Okay.
Okay, not an issue. So
Excuse
yeah,
me, ma'am, for the final state Q1, we have enclosed it within two circles. Means, is there any significance of that?
see, there is no significance, but it is a standard that while we draw a transition diagram, we represent the final state using double circle. Just to differentiate the final states from the other state, we represent it with double circle, and for the initial state we mark with the incoming arrow. It's just to differentiate it from the other states, so that we understand that Q1 is the final. That's it. There is no other significance.
Okay, ma'am.
Achha. Next is acceptability of a string by DFA. How do you understand that the string is accepted by a DFA? So a string is said to be accepted by a DFA when after scanning the entire string we reach the final state of the DFA. Now this is very important. Reaching the final state after scanning the entire string. So let's test the previous DFA with the string ABA. Okay. So I'll go to the diagram again. I am going to test the string ABA for this DFA. So once you get A, you will obviously start at Q0 because this is the initial state. So you start at Q0, you get A, you are at Q1. Next you get B, you remain at Q1. Next you get A again, you remain at Q1. So at the last you end up at Q1, which is the final state, and therefore you can say ABA is accepted by the DFA. So see, this is a transition function actually. Q0, I am at Q0, I get A, I go to Q1. I am at Q1 again, I get B, I remain at Q1 according to the transition diagram. Again I am at Q1, I get A, I go to Q1. I am at the final state, and that means that since I am at the final state, the string is accepted. Okay. This is actually moved a little below, it was supposed to mark this one. Okay. Now next is string BBA. Let's again check for the string BBA. Now from the normal concept you would say that ma'am, the DFA was meant for all the strings which starts with A, so it should not accept BBA. But yeah, I know it should not accept BBA, but still you need to test it, right? So how to test it? You start at the state Q0, you get a B, you go to state Q2, right? After going to state Q2, again if you get a B, you remain at Q2, you get a you remain at Q2, which is a non-final dead state, trap state. Therefore we can say that the string BBA is not accepted by the given DFA. This is how you test the acceptability or non-acceptability of a given string for a given DFA. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now next is acceptability of a language as a whole by a DFA. Previously I was talking about a single string, but what about a language? You have already seen what I mean by language. When I say language, I mean all the strings which are the part of the language. So a language is said to be accepted by a DFA if and only if all the strings that belong to the language is accepted by the DFA, and all the strings which are not a part of the language is rejected. Now both the parts are important. Whenever you construct a DFA by yourself, you should check two things. The strings for your language, suppose take this same example, you have to test that whether all the strings starting with A is accepted by this automata. Obviously the construction is made in such a way all the strings starting with A will obviously be accepted. Fine, part 1 is done. Part 2 is you have to check, you have to ensure that the strings which are not a part of this language should be rejected by this automata. So which are the strings which are not part of the language? Obviously the strings starting with B or starting with anything else. So is it accepted? No, it is not accepted because it will go to the trap state. It is not accepted. Moreover, even if you go to check with an empty string is also logically not starting with A, right? So empty string means I am at Q0 only. I am not going for any transition. I am just starting off and I am at Q0. And Q0 is obviously not the final state. Therefore, empty string is also not accepted by this automata. So fine, rejection is okay, acceptance is okay, my DFA construction is okay. This is the way you should check for a language as a whole, okay? Because whenever you will be given a question, you will be given in perspective of a language and not a string alone, okay? Just a second. Okay. Next, let us see some of the examples. So, here we are supposed to construct a DFA for the language over A comma B, where all the strings are of length exactly 2. Now this is the same thing that you had done for a grammar. If you remember, the first question we had done for grammar was construct the grammar for a language over a comma b where all the strings are of exactly length 2. Same thing, this is for DFA. So I'll go to the canvas before coming to this transition table. Let me go to the canvas. See, my DFA should be such that the length should be, it was exactly 2, right? Just a second, yeah, exactly 2. So I have to ensure that the length is exactly 2 over a comma b. So let's start with the starting state q0. Next, I can get a, I can get b also, right? So let's move to the next state q1. Sorry. Next we have a comma b. I move to q2, and for this one also I need to give a transition. So a comma b. No, it's not allowed, right? It's not allowed because length,
No, ma'am, it is
length
not
should
allowed.
always be equal to 2. So if I give a self loop, I can have any repetition. So what I do, firstly,
Ma'am, I can give a
yeah,
trap
I'll give a
here.
trap here. First of all, mark it as a final state. Sorry for the mess. Next, what I do is I put a extra state, trap state. This is a trap state. For trap state also, just add a transition. So see, here I have to ensure that my length is 2. So once I start with q0, I can get either a or b. I can move to the next state. After that also I can get a or b. I can move to the next state. My condition is fulfilled. My need is fulfilled. The length is 2. But after that also I have to add the transitions for a comma b, right? So if I add a self loop over here, it will remain in the final state and it will keep on accepting many more number of symbols, but that should not be done. So to avoid that, what I do, I add a new state q2. Sorry, it will be q3. Sorry, I have already had q2 over here. So just a second. It will be q3. Yeah. So I add a new state q3 over here. The purpose of this dead state or trap state q3 is to stop the automata from accepting any symbols after the length of 2 is covered. So after length of 2 is done, it will directly come to the trap state and reject any and every string whose length is more than 2. Okay. Now if you go to the corresponding table, transition table, it's like same from the for the transition diagram that we have seen. From q0 I go to q1 on getting a or b. From q1 I go to q2 and q2 only on getting a and b. Like on reaching q2 I go to q3 on getting a or b, and in q3 I remain at q3 on getting a or b. q3 is the dead state or trap state. q2 is the final state, and the total number of states required for solving the problem was 4. That is also important. Okay, that should be kept in mind. The total number of states required. So this is how you are going to solve the problem. Similarly, let us see the next problem. Construct a DFA for the language over a comma b where all the strings are of length at least 2. Okay, so here it says that length should be at least 2. So how will the construction change? So let me draw it over here. Again you start with q0. You move to the next state a comma b, q1. Next is a comma b, q2. See, at least
And here I can give a set loop over a
exactly,
q2 for a comma b.
exactly. This is my final state and I'll give a self loop. Simply I'll give a self loop because here the condition is at least a comma b. So at least a comma b is already satisfied once I reach at q2. Then after q2, like after that also I can have any numbers of a or b, right? So for that I can simply add a self loop in the state q2 to ensure that. Okay.
Ma'am, once again, for the last question, why was the self loop not used there, and why did Q2 again jump to Q2?
Your voice was not clear. Can you repeat once more?
Ma'am, in the last question, why did Q2, like in this one there was a self loop, but in the last question, why did
Q2
Q2
did
again
not
jump?
have the self loop because our previous question was that this length should be exactly equal to 2. Okay. So after getting A and B, suppose I get a A over here and B over here. So my length 2 is satisfied. After that I should not have any more symbols. That should not be accepted by the automata. Therefore, to avoid accepting any more symbols, I cannot give. মানে যদি আমি এখানে self loop দিয়ে দিতাম, if there was a self loop over here, then strings like a b b would also have been accepted.
তাহলে যেখানে স্ট্রিং এর লেন্থটা ইনফাইনাইট
হ্যাঁ,
হয়ে যেত।
a b b a b b a also had been accepted. I could have any number of strings after any number of symbols even after a b, but that is not accepted, right? That should not be accepted. Therefore I had to add this trap state so that after getting single symbol and then again another symbol, that is a string of length 2, any and every symbol I get is rejected and redirected to the trap state. Okay. Self loop is actually infinite loop. Okay, so giving self loop means accepting any number of symbols, which is not allowed over here. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So exactly 2 and at least 2 we have seen. These two cases, right? Yeah. So let me go back over here. This is a transition table again. I'm not explaining. It's the same thing. Okay. So here the number of states required was 3. Next, construct a DFA for the language over A comma B where all the strings are of length at most 2. Now, for at most 2, how can we do that? Let's see. At most.
Make all the Q0, Q1 the final
Exactly.
state.
Very good. So I start at Q0. At most 2 means Q0 can be also a final state because a null string will also be accepted. So make Q0 a final state. Sorry for the overlappings. You should not do that. Okay, next, on getting A comma B, that is I go to state Q1. Going to state Q1 means I accept all the languages which length 1, which is accepted, which is permitted over here, because length should be at most 1. So this one will also be a final state. This is Q1. Next, again from Q1 I get A comma B. I move to Q2, which is obviously again the final state because it's at most 2. So 1, 2, it's done. After that it should not be accepted. After that we should not have any number of symbols. So rejection should be there. Again I can add a trap state A comma B. I move to the trap state. Put a self loop. See, the only difference, you might see that this automata is looking quite similar to the exactly 2 questions automata. It actually looks quite similar. The difference being there the final state was only Q2. Here we have 3 final states, Q0, Q1 and Q2. Why do we have 3 final states? Because at most 2 means all the strings with length 0, all the strings with length 1, all the strings with length 2, everything should be accepted. Therefore I have made 3 final states. Rest is same. Okay. This is a transition table again. I'm not explaining. Yeah, one thing you need to remember over here also, number of states required was 4. In the first one also it was 4, next 3, here 4. So from this, the way the number of states are changing, I have something to say. So the number of states in a DFA for the language A comma B, where all the strings are of length exactly n, it is when W is equal, W means the length of the string, okay, W is the string, so W mod, it is actually the length of the string, which is equal to n suppose, then the number of states in a DFA which accepts the language over A and B, where all the strings of length exactly n is accepted, is n plus 2. If you go to the example we had, for us the length was n was 2. In the question it was given that construct the DFA for which accepts all the strings of exactly length 2, right? So n's value was 2, and if you see the number of states required was 4. So 2 plus 2, 4. So this relation holds. You have to remember this relation, because always in MCQ questions in GATE you are sometimes asked to give the number of states. For that, if you always start constructing the DFA over, it will consume time. So these small tricks should be known to you for any such question where it said that construct a DFA for accepting a language with exactly length 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. Just use the formula 4 plus 2 or 3 plus 2, that is n plus 2. Okay. Similarly, the number of states in a DFA for the language where all the strings are of length at least n. For at least n, the formula is n plus 1. In our question, n is 2. So if you see, the number of states was 3. So this is a formula for at least n, it's n plus 1 number of states. And similarly, for at most n, again the number of states is n plus 2, is similar to exactly n. Okay. So these 3 small things should be remembered by you, so that you can easily and very fast you can solve the MCQ questions. Okay.
And ma'am, if
Actually, we don't
you
even
give me,
remember, ma'am. One is the initial state Q0 and another is the trap state that is required in at least an exact, but it's not required in
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
like at
Yeah.
least
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So that's the
Exactly.
and ma'am, suppose we are asked to find the number of states for a DFA, while let's say they are giving me the pattern with which the string end. Let's say the string end with
No,
ABA,
that is
or let's say
something,
the
that is
string
a
end with
different
0,
question.
1.
That is a different question. Here I am discussing a specific pattern of a question.
Yes.
What you are saying, that's a different kind of a question. Now for that also, first we have to construct the automata, and we have to see whether this similar kind of pattern is there or not. It's not important. It's not actually true that for every automata we will get such a pattern of a minimum number of states from which we can get the minimum number of states. It might vary actually. In this case, in this kind of a question, we have got a symmetry, therefore we have this formula. But it's not important that for every question we can have such a relationship. In many a times we have to construct the DFA and see whether what are the number of states. Now that will come from experience. Once you construct more DFAs, you will get to understand by yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see another example. Construct a DFA for the language over A comma B, where all the strings are of even length. That is W mod 2 is equal to 0. Even length means I can say length of the string mod 2 is equal to 0. Obviously I need not explain this, right? So now going to the construction, I have to ensure that it's a even length string which is getting accepted by the DFA, right? This is the only thing I have to keep in mind. So let's see. Let's start with the initial state Q1. Sorry, Q0. Acha. At the very first point, I want to say that whenever I say even length, null is also even length. 0 is a even number. We consider 0 as a even
Yes,
number.
ma'am.
So
Then first one is
first one will be
first one is
final
final
state
state.
self. Okay. Now moving to the next state A comma B, I move to the next state Q1, but this should not be the final state. Why? Because it is a odd length. I am at this state, I get a single A or single B, my length becomes 1, so it should not be the final state. Okay, fine, I am at Q1. Now from Q1, again if I get a or B, can actually move back. Instead of using an extra state, what I can do is I can move back to Q0. So the label will be again A, comma B. Once I am at Q1 and I get either A or B, I move to Q0. So in this way what happens, this even thing is maintained. Suppose you check with A, B, B, okay. So I start with Q0, I get a A, I go to Q1. Next I get a A, I go to Q0. Next I get a B, I go to Q1 again. Next I get a B, I end at Q0. Q0 is the final state. As simple as that. So my string is accepted by the automata. Similarly, you can take any and every string of even length and check it's getting accepted. Similarly, do check exception, that is a odd length string. So you can take a simple example of a single A. So suppose I am at Q0, I get a single A, I go to Q1. This is not a final state, so it won't be accepted. What about 3 A's? I get a A, I get a A, I get a A. 3 times, again it's not accepted. Okay. So this is how you construct automata for W mod 2 is equal to 0. Okay.
Ma'am, had it been that the W mod 3 equal to 0, then we could have had like 3 Q1, Q2, Q3, and yeah, I mean this one only, and Q0 would have been the final
Exactly.
state.
So just as you have said,
Ma'am?
yeah.
Ma'am, can you think like that? If a given question mod W modulus 2 is equal to 0, then we think like that 0 and Q0 and Q1. If given modulus 3, then 0, 1, 2.
Exactly.
Modulus 4, then 0, 1, 2, 3.
Because mod means remainder. So
Because there
Q0
is
is
remainder.
remainder 0,
Yeah.
Q1 is remainder 1, Q2 is remainder 3, and so on. So I know that most of you will be able to do the question, solve this one for W mod 3 equal to 0, but still I'll just show it once for all of you so that the symmetry of the question is like understood by all of you. So again I'll start with Q0. It is mod 3, mane it should be divisible by 3. The length of the string should be divisible by 3. So obviously 0 is divisible by 3, right? So final state, next remainder 1 mane ki not divisible, okay, fine, sorry, remainder 2 mane not divisible, A comma B, remainder 2 not divisible, right? After that divisible is again going to Q0, remainder 0. Just check it, okay. Let's A, B, A. So A, B, A. A, B, A, B, B. Suppose A, B, A, B, B. Length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mane, what will be the remainder? What will be the remainder? Remainder 2. So do I end up at remainder 2? Let's check. A, B, B. Yeah, I end up at remainder 2. So it's fine. The construction is fine. Similarly, for any kind of a question of this type, where you're given a mod 3, mod 4, mod 5, mod 6, anything, you can simply use this logic and construct the DFA. Okay. So again, please look at the symmetry. The number of states in a DFA for a language over A comma B, where W mod 2 is equal to 0 is 2. The number of states in a DFA for the language over A comma B, where W mod 3 is equal to 0 is 3. I'm talking about the number of states. Similarly, for the number of states in a DFA for a language over A comma B, where W mod n is equal to 0 is n. Clear? Acha, one more thing, students, all the questions that I am discussing is from the perspective of alphabet set 2. Mane A, B, the size of the alphabet set is 2 kintu, not more than that. In place of A, B, you can put anything, 0, 1 or x, y, but the length of alphabet set is 2, that is fixed, okay. Whenever your alphabet set, the number of alphabet set increases, suppose it's A, B, C or 0, 1, 2, this formula won't work. your formula will be different. This is fixed for the given alphabet set. Try to like understand that. Okay, don't use this logic for ABC. Like maybe I have a automata for language over ABC where W mod 3 equal to 0. Now that will be something different. That one you construct at first and then check what is the symmetry. But straightforward, do not use this formula. This formula is specific to size of the alphabet set for the previous one also. Okay, please keep this thing in mind. Because generally we get questions where the alphabet set is of length 2, either A, B or 0, 1. Very few questions are there where we get more than that alphabet set. So this is standard. Let's check this one as well. We have to construct this is the last question for this today. In next class I will discuss a few more problems on DFA and then I'll move to NFA. Okay, so the last problem for today, construct a DFA for a language over A comma B where the number length of A, when I write n suffix n subscript A W is equal to 2, it means the length of the number of A in the string should be 2. There is no restriction with the number of B's, but the number of A in my string should be 0. It can appear anywhere, but the length the number of A should be 2. So how to do it? Let's see.
And Q0 पे loop B and to A, Q1 पे loop B to A, Q2 final state to B and trap state to Q3.
Repeat what you said. I am at Q0. After that,
Q0 पे loop B.
yeah, Q0 पे loop.
No, loop man. Q0 पे
Okay.
loop.
Okay.
Yeah. And to A.
A.
Q0 पे loop. Q1 पे loop.
Yeah.
B.
Okay.
To A. To A.
Q2
Q2 final state.
to final state.
Loop B. Loop
B.
B.
Then
Q2 to trap state Q3. Q2 to Q3 trap state A. Yeah.
Very good. So see, rest of you all.
Basically, we have to focus only on
exactly.
A, ma'am.
In the question, it's that the length of the number of A should be 2. Nothing is given about B. We can have any number of B. We need not worry about B, number of B. So you just start with Q0. You put a self loop. See, whenever we are not concerned with a number of any symbol, we can put a self loop. Any number of B possible. Then you take a, you go to next state. Again, number of B can be anything. You take a, go to next state. After that, again self loop for B. You are not concerned with the number of B, but see, we have already got 2 A's. We should not get more than 2 A's. Therefore, for the next A, I go to the trap state so that it is rejected by the automata. Clear, all of you?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So that's all for today's class. Actually, next day I'll be like discussing a few more problems of different flavors, and then we will move to the non-deterministic finite automata part. Okay. So
And instead of A, we have asked question that n of B. Then only change
only change the
yes, ma'am?
labeling of the arcs. In place of B, there will be A. In place of A, there will be B. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, could you share this PowerPoint
Yeah.
in the Google Classroom? I mean,
Yeah,
the
I'm
slides for
going to
today.
share. Okay. Thank you. Bolo?
Also,
Huh.
also, ma'am, I would like to say whenever we are discussing and you are making the diagrams, would like to keep those diagrams locked as
Acha,
well.
Tritesh, see, I shared the video. Okay. Now sharing the diagram separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah,
Then it's fine.
yeah.
You have the video.
Okay.
Then it's fine.
You will get the video link in the tracker also. Moreover, I tried to give the same in the Google Classroom also. For the previous 3 classes, I have already given the links, YouTube links, and for today's class also I'll upload it just now. Okay. Thank you
Right,
so
ma'am.
much. Please appear for the IMCRP test. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.